This is Sailor the Piper Man. Sailor the Piper Man, Piper the Sailor Man, coming to you from the island of Puerto Rico. Here, my friend, smoking a cigar this evening. And I want to talk about international affairs, corporate international affairs. What are corporations doing abroad that will impact us? Well, first of all, British corporations and French corporations have been for millennia, or well, for 100 or so years, 200 years in Africa, and created disaster, everything from the minefields to uranium to oil, all that. That's all going to impact us. What happened in Libya is going to impact us with our cars. Also, it's going to impact us in the Middle East, because I don't know if you know that they really Africa's put its focus on Israel and what's going on in Israel. Why? Because of China. China's got big investment in Africa, and everybody in the next 50 years are going to scramble for a piece of Africa. I see that coming. Also, people scrambling for underdeveloped countries like in Latin America. So, while the U.S. is rotting away because the politicians have sold all those people that claim to be patriots, like we know what patriots are, far and in between, really. Once they get in there, a lot of them have good ideas, but there's so much money to be made. It's people corrupt, and you got to scratch somebody's back, and somebody's got to scratch your back, and so things are happening. Now, one thing I've always followed for years, the U.S. Farmers Report. I'm noticing that America is losing a lot of topsoil. You know what that means? That in the coming generation, next 25 years, is going to be hard to find good land to farm. You could talk to all the farmers. They're going to tell you from everywhere from Wyoming to Idaho, Midwest, it's getting more difficult, and the U.S., these corporations want to buy out the small man and taking over. And instead of distributing the wealth, they're keeping it to themselves. That being said, if you retire, you retire. But those that, you know, it's gonna to deal with the problems coming from it, there's going to have to be a one world government. Who's gonna deal with the problems that Europe is having with Islam? They don't know what kind of form of government they want. They switch from socialism to this, to that, to this. It's very different than when those that were around after World War II. We knew the dangers in World War II. We knew what was happening in communist countries. We knew what was happening with fascism. Now, these kids don't study. They just, whatever the professor says, that's what they do. And a lot of good people are just lawyers and scientists want to be funded by big corporations, and they'll do whatever. And very talented kids have lost their morals and their values, all for money. Even right now, I saw a picture a while back called The Children of Men, which talked about justice problems that were going on. There were nobody to have children, and they were being run by immigrants, and that is what's going on. That they had to actually cage these immigrants, control them, and then there was in the picture, there was a big war and everything between Islam and the poor and those that are in power, the status that be. Ireland's being overrun, they don't want outsiders. Scotland's being overrun, they don't want outsiders. Italy having problems with migrations from who? From North Africa. So was France, and so is Spain. Why? They've been dealing with Africa for the longest. They've been exploiting Africa, so guess what? They're going to come to where the gold is, right?
I'm
You
gonna lock this door because that smell is coming.
okay? Closer to. So my wife is complaining about So that's what's going on. That is what's going on. What are we gonna do about it? Can you and I do about it? It's very hard to solve a problem when we're not in control of the situation. Me, all I could do is take care of the local situation here. What are you doing? Are you just spending your time smoking away? Are you part of the local government where you at? Are you watching for your rights? Are your children watching? You know, you got wife, you got children, you got lands. It's constantly changing the law. I don't know of another country where the laws are so constantly changing. At the present moment, I couldn't afford to live in America. I mean, I got my house, I got my situation, got my car, I got stable economy. I couldn't afford a house for $500,000. I couldn't afford to live in a place where I buy something that's going to be flooded. Let alone we're dealing with crazies running the streets wanting to protest, and I guess when you don't have nothing, you just get out there and do what you got to do, to survive, and that's what people are doing to survive. The rents in on the United States are out of whack. Like in the city areas, it's expensive. But guess what? Who wants to live in the city? That's why people want to go to Greenland and people want to go to Alaska. And if you haven't made out of the city, you're in big trouble. And you that have property, you better know what's going around you. You better be prepared to defend what's yours. That herd mentality is more and more, you can see it prevalent. The have-nots will go after those that have. It's just like that. So you got everything being privatized. Hospitals or telephone companies, everything being, and so it's, unless you already from my generation where you're assertive, where you always keep a track of what's going on, these young kids, they just want to have a good time and party hardy, because I guess they see the end of the tunnel. We're trying to help them see the end of the tunnel. The only way is if we, the elderly, I'm an elderly now, speak up. Once they stop the rights for us to smoke, we're in big trouble, man. Can you imagine the day they say tobacco is illegal? The only reason they won't say is because they have the hand in the cookie jar. Now, what these people are doing, I have no idea why Sutcliffe sold out. Especially to a foreign corporation that's going to affect us. But little by little, all these foreign corporations are buying American corporations. They're stripping America down. And that's what they're doing, stripping America down. And we're allowing it. We send our companies abroad, and a lot of them won't come back. Too much incentive in other countries. Too much. Too many wars. You can't fight in Middle East and then fight a war in Latin America and then fight a war. War against poverty, war against hunger, war against, racism. We got so many wars. It's unbelievable. Wars and rumors of war. Jesus said it. In the last days be wars and rumors of wars, like the days of Noah. What will happen in the days of Noah? Well, we know that the sons of God married the daughters of men. demonic forces, if you believe that, and I mean, I personally believe there's a spirit world and there's evil and there is good. There's the seeds of Cain, the seeds of Abel, the good seed of sin. And some people just stock evil, man. Not only that, they outright come out and they say, I'm a Wiccan, I'm a devil worshiper, I'm a Satanist. There's no, and then in the church it's about money and those making money. It's been big business. People that believe that the Bible is the word of God, less and less. They're looking at us like we're crazy, man. Yet, the prophetic word is being fulfilled to the T. What Jesus said is being full. I'm just saying, you don't want to believe Jesus, fine, but check out what he said. How long ago he said it, what he said, and what has come to pass. Continually come to pass. Because I think things runs in cycles. That being said, this is Sailor the Piping Man, Pipe of the Sailor Man. Keep a track of these corporations, follow the money. Signing off.